Hello, welcome to Quackalo. Thank you for being here. Today we're bringing you a GameFound preview of Andromeda's Edge from the designers Luke Laurie and
Maximus Laurie, his son.
The first time they've actually hand-in-hand designed something together, I believe. The first time Maximus is actually on the box himself, which is very exciting. If you know anything about Luke Laurie, this is literally the easiest sell we've ever presented to you. Ultimately, this is just a strong reminder that Andromeda's Edge, one of our most anticipated games of this year, a game we've been talking about for the last 4 or 5 months. We have gameplays out, we have overviews out, we have comparisons to Dwelling of Eldervale out. This is a big reminder that it's over currently
on GameFound. And these are by the Cardboard Alchemy folks who brought you Flamecraft and Mission Catastrophe, which are 2 games that are beloved in our collection.
Now, one big caveat we have to stick at the front of this is that everything we have in front of us, including Shira Chavin herself,
is a prototype. It is the more official prototype than the one you prior saw on our channel, but it is still a prototype and is going to be continuously improved upon like Cardboard Alchemy tends to do.
I was going to say, if you know anything about the stuff that they've produced, whether it is Mission Catastrophe with the incredible insert, beautiful production design, if you have a copy of Flamecraft, which is egregious for how nice it is, or if you've seen the original Dwellings of Eldervale, which was the first collaboration of Peter Vaughan and Luke Laurie, the first time they ever came together through Breaking Games, that this is sort of a homage to, in a way. The design, the manufacturing, the inserts in that box are only going to be enhanced and produced even more so here with Andromeda's Edge. Being said, while this is just a very strong reminder that it's over live on GameFound now, you should follow the link at the bottom of the description.
We're going to tell you a little bit about this game.
We should probably tell you a little bit about the game at the same time.
It's a Quackalo video, so the only place we start is flavor text.
But only with good voices, Shira Chavin.
Andromeda's Edge.
Andromeda's Edge.
Behold, Andromeda's Edge, a dazzling, uncharted region of space on the edge of the Andromeda Galaxy, littered with the modular debris of precursor civilization, terrorized by malicious extragalactic raiders and bordered by dense nebulae. The Edge is a last resort for the brave and foolhardy who seek a new life beyond the oppressive reach of the Lords of Unity. Your desperate faction has arrived in Andromeda Galaxy, fleeing the tyrannical control of Unity. With only a handful of civilization transport ships and rudimentary space station, you embark on a new beginning. Out here on the Edge, you will search for resource-rich moons and orbiting the exotic planets. You will use these resources to expand your space station by collecting and refurbishing ancient technology modules, enhancing your abilities and productivity. You will visit various Alliance bases to benefit from the diverse skills of the beings who already call this home. You will upgrade your ships, learn new tactical skills, make scientific discoveries, and recruit leaders to your cause. When you have found a suitable planetary site, you will construct grand developments, observatories, factories, spaceports, cities, and towering obelisks. But doing so will not be easy. At every turn there is conflict and danger. Other factions have arrived at Andromeda's Edge with similar goals, while terrifying intergalactic raiders emerge from the nebulae and wreak havoc.
So yes, you're showing up to the last free point on existence, like the wild, wild west of spacefaring galaxies, and there's a lot of stuff happening here. First off, this will be a 1 to 5 player game, and I believe Unity, which is the I don't know if it's some hive mind, the AI technology. I don't know what it is that is encompassing you into its grasp, but the name Unity makes me think like strong Ender's Game vibes when it comes to like this robot ant colony. However, you are going to be playing against them in the single player mode, I believe. And then in the higher player counts, you're going to be playing against other player factions. There's a whole arsenal of potential civilizations that you could grab. By the way, Tim Choon has done an incredible job at breaking down some of these rules, some of the mythology behind them, some of the lore that I'm sure everyone that's watching this would like to see.
Every faction is asymmetric in this game, and you're going to be playing them and coming with your own resources, your strong suits, and your weaknesses to the game. You're going to be trying to get as much points as you can throughout the game, and the game can be various play lengths based on how many points you want to reach. Game end will be triggered when you reach one of these pink spots on the board. Additionally, you are going to be while trying to get as much points, you're going to be building this tableau. In front of you by grabbing all of these modules up here. There are 5 different tracks that you can go up. You can go up on science, you can go up on commerce, industry, civilization, and that middle one is the war. As you continue to fight battles and win the battles, you get to tick up on that track.
And so you drop here on the side of this venturing galaxy, grabbing moons, establishing colonies on planets, building new technology, exploring and expanding your own arsenal of resources that you have to use. And you're going to be doing your very best to win in a variety of ways. Like you already said, Endgame is triggered by one of these 3-point conditions. It's a race game in some form, but that does not mean that the person that gets there first is the victor. Instead,
there are a lot of endgame scoring conditions, mainly from that civilization track. A lot of those will generate points at the end of the game. Just because you might be the first person to trigger endgame does not mean you are going to be taking away the win. There are a lot of endgame points based on these different developments that you will have put out throughout the game. You're going to be going to these planets and rescuing your leaders that are throughout the galaxy and then building these developments. And as you continue to go up on these different module tracks, they're going to be worth more points at the end of the game.
I like to think of it as discovering the known leaders that exist across the face of the world, but sure, kidnapping and rescuing leaders could certainly be a possibility. Now, if you're familiar with any of Luke Laurie's designs, you'll know that he likes combining some type of tableau building with very innovative worker placement. And the way that he does that is a combination of not only having interesting actions when you place out the different units that you have, which are going to be your starfaring, your exploration ships here, specifically your transport ships, but also insanely satisfying and rewarding recall actions. So after you've sent all of your ships out, you've taken actions across the board, you've built up technology, you've harvested resources, you've grabbed moons off of these different planets, you've started collecting or rescuing the different leaders that have been kidnapped by other spacefaring civilizations. As far as Shira's lore goes, I think, again, you're discovering the inner beauty inside each and every one of us, and this is a young boy who's suddenly being promoted to Admiral. Not because everyone else has died in the space colony war.
I'm saving him from those raiders. Those gold raiders that are coming throughout the galaxy, coming to eat him.
You're going to get an amazing recall turn. And normally in worker placement games, recall is just that. You get all your units back. However, here, you've been working on this tableau that you've been developing since you first started playing.
And one of the interesting parts of the tableau is that you don't only need workers to trigger it. You can also trigger this tableau with energy. However, each row that you have built out in your tableau needs at least one of your transport ships to trigger it. You're going to be placing it down and triggering it and gaining the resources. So a lot of these are resources. Some of them are action, like build actions, repairing actions, getting points, getting resources that will allow you to then continue and go further and further in the game. So you're grabbing all those modules, and each module specializes in different things. The green modules specialize a lot in resources. The blue ones specialize a lot in endgame points. The yellow ones use a lot of the moons. The brown ones use a lot of the moons. And the war is just war from winning the battles.
Yeah, so you're going to be doing a big recall action. You're going to be getting a rewarding, set of actions. Sometimes this is going to be where the most actions actually take place when you're calling everyone back in. You're upgrading your ships, you're involving your technology, and then you're, going back out onto the planetary exploration phase of the game, and you're, again, establishing control, building vessels. There's a few other cool things that happen here in Andromeda's Edge, though, outside of just how satisfactory that worker placement / tableau building is. One of them is going to be how you actually use the different heroes that you're rescuing and your starfaring ships to build out different settlements. These developments are going to be cities or science hubs or big space lasers that you can establish, and each one requires a certain number of your leaders. They're actually going to slot on top of, and then these leaders will slot into the different types of construction that you have. Now, some of these constructions will be limited, some of them will be specialized, some of them will give you extra abilities and powers, but if you happen to be a colony that is able to establish control and build your own little settlement, you're going to be scoring a lot of endgame victory points, but you're also going to be, getting some unique actions because of that as well.
Yeah, each development will allow you to have a one-time use action in middle of the game, and then additionally, if you have gone further up the track that specializes in that building, then the higher up the track you get, the more endgame points this will be. Additionally, depending on how many leaders are slotted in here and how many leaders are still on the location and the surrounding locations at that time, that'll score you immediate points in middle of the game.
Yeah, because everyone's going to have their leaders scattered across the board, so you're looking for opportune zones to first establish your control, build out your different buildings, but also do so in an area that hasn't been heavily populated already.
You can see that you're going to be exploring this board further down. There's going to be a lot more locations that will be coming out, and they will allow you to place out more of these really cool buildings and allow you to score endgame points and do more things. Middle of the game, they'll come out with their moons, which moons are just fantastic fun.
Yeah, moons are going to be little extra resources bubbles that you can get. You can slot them into a location that allows you to take a benefit if you lose a battle. You can use them as immediate effects that give you a high amount of resources, or you can place them in the center of your tableau, unlocking certain combinations or pairing cards together that'll give you a better but a softer action when you do your full recall and your tableau engine building step.
The last part about this that we haven't talked about is the battling, and you are going to be both battling your opponents in the middle of the game, and you're also going to be battling these raiders. At the end of every round, you're going to check to see who else is in your location or within range of you, and then you're going to have a battle where you roll X amount of dice based on your different ships and their capabilities, using their powers, and additionally getting to use some of these really cool cards down here, and playing them cards, diplomacy cards, before the battle starts, trying to avoid battle, and then sometimes choosing to actually take a loss, because the loss might actually benefit you more than the win in those scenarios.
Now, one of the things that I like the most about battle is actually how you resolve some of your combat. So if I'm fighting with 3 ships, I'll actually be able to re-roll all of my 2s and 1s when going into a straight combat. It goes up to a minimum of 5, and what that does is it creates this little extra puzzle of not only pressure luck, but also a puzzle that comes down to, do I think I can beat this person? Do I think I'm going to roll straight 6s? Or am I going to get all 3s and still lose this battle? There's this little bit of wiggle room there that allows you to choose whether or not you want to recall ships into your location, fight with more in one specific spot, or take a risk and seek out the nebula or seek out any of these other raiders that are exploring civilizations or AI civilizations that are kind of facing off against you.
I think I like just how asymmetrical this game feels. Every single faction feels so unique, and they throw little tidbits to their previous projects. Like, I know there's going to be a dragon faction that is homage towards Flamecraft, and there's going to be Dwellings of Eldervale faction. And I like that a lot, because every faction comes with their own unique ship upgrade, and then you also have a standard ship upgrade. So you'll have 5 different ship upgrades that you'll be able to use at different points throughout the game based on using the resources and putting them into play. And so those are going to be making the workers that you then place out on the board even more powerful and able to do more cool things. Everything just escalates and gets more and more and more in this game.
If you like a Euro game, if you like a highly, highly asymmetric game that gives you a ton of different puzzle pieces that all link together every time you play it, no faction is the same, and no faction plays the same every time you play them because the ship modules you might get. If you like a Euro game, it's built around the idea of victory points, but victory points done within the context of doing very well in whatever it is you are doing and pursuing. A game that allows you to time that ending based on how many victory points are actually out there on the board, so you can ramp up and try to score that final swath of points moments before the game actually closes.
And if you like a game that has a lot of lore and really cool artwork and behind the scenes things that are going to be coming out, and just it's gorgeous, fantastic components and really nifty things, even how the components click together.
Yeah.
This game might be right for you.
Yeah,
you should go check out the Game Found campaign over there.
Yeah. Yeah, give them a look, give them a follow, stay tuned.
Give them a quack, let them know that you came from us.
And on top of that, stay tuned here on the channel, because like I said, we're going to have a full live stream about mid-campaign in about a week from the time you're watching this over here, where at least West and I, possibly Shira, all go head-to-head and do our very best to rip each other apart. There you'll be able to ask questions. The designer is going to be, or at least the publisher is going to be in the comment section, I know, engaging with you all and chatting, so we're very excited to do that.
Yeah.
All right, with that being said,
Thank
this
you so
has
much
been
for
your
being
humble
here.
reminder that Andromeda's Edge
is launching today.
available.
Now, go check it out.
Go do the stuff.